guys, how is everyone today? I'll give you guys a second to jump on. I know I'm coming on at a different time. But today's show is going to be all about me talking about um Breonna Taylor. So we will be having a discussion today about Breonna Taylor, about um the Attorney General, and all of that. Share this video, like, tag a friend. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hi to all my Periscope watchers, Facebook Live. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Kathleen, your conscious coach. I'm gonna type hello in the chat just to see if anybody's out there. Periscope is good, YouTube is good. Um, Facebook always drags. Facebook is good. So, hello everyone. We'll be talking about Breonna Taylor today, the decision that was made, and sharing a little bit of background concerning the Attorney General. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Kathleen, your conscious coach, author of 4 books that are in the Conscious Collection. Um, so yeah, let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. Got a new speaker in here. Okay, look, I'm looking at all of y'all looking at me. Well, hello everyone. We're gonna be talking about Breonna Taylor today and some information that I've learned about the Attorney General that I think is super, super important. Breonna Taylor was murdered in Louisville, Kentucky, in her own home. Police supposedly served a no-knock warrant, in which they knocked on the door um, that night. They say sometimes after 12 o'clock is when they knocked on the door. Everybody knows you're dead sleep after 12. You're moving into your REM sleep. We know part of the story now. We don't know all of the story. They're demanding the release of the records or the notes from the court appearance. We'll know more. But we do know already that she was murdered in her home by 3 white officers. So we definitely want to talk about that. Um, so hello, I'm Kathleen. I'm your conscious coach. This is what I call the conscious hour. I'm chosen. I'm an educated speaker and writer, and definitely a woman of God. So we'll be talking about Breonna Taylor today. So, yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to that. I'm a one-woman show, so bear with me. If you have any questions, you can type them in the comment section. What happens is I can see them on my side, and whenever I check it, I have to remember to check it. I can see. So I typed in hello. You should see hello on your side. But if anybody types in hello or questions or concerns or whatever, I can see them. Also, um, yeah, we can do that. So let's get into this. So Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was a basically, from what I believe, her profession was EMT. So her job was basically to save lives, ironically. That was her job. My understanding was she, by what they say, excuse me, by what they say, she was involved with a guy who at one point sold drugs. She wasn't even with this guy anymore. She was, I don't even know if her and this guy was living together, but he was at our house this night. So she's moved on to a completely new relationship. And they show up at her apartment looking for some guy. Doesn't say that his name was on the lease or anything like that. They had written in the police notes to make her boyfriend look like a suspect. So that's not already looking good. They also tried to say that the post office had called the police department with concerns of packages that were being delivered to Breonna Taylor's address. Come to find out, that was a lie. So this is one of those situations where literally more has to be done. Like I said, everybody's asking for the documents from the grand jury trial. But I definitely want to talk about the prosecutor and a little bit about him because I think that will lend some awareness to us in regards to understanding more about political figures and how people think. Because a lot of times we don't think about how people think and how that's going to affect their judgment when it comes to deciding cases like this, which is why it has to mean something to us to make sure we're getting the right people in office, holding them accountable, but it lets us know we have to look deeper at the people that we put in positions like this. So I'm going to show you this little video clip and we'll get right back to what I'm saying.
Breonna Taylor, a resident of Louisville, Kentucky, was gunned down in her home by 3 white police officers. And today we learn that those officers will not be sentenced for her murder. The Attorney General in the area, Daniel Cameron, is a protege of Mitch McConnell and is rumored to be married to Mitch McConnell's granddaughter. Mitch McConnell is a racist. He fought Obama at every turn, and he is an outspoken racist. What we must focus on is changing laws. We must direct all of our attention, focus, money, and energy into changing laws. Unfortunately, on this day in 1955, Emmett Till's case was decided, and the whites were acquitted by a white jury. We must change the narrative in America. We must vote. Our voices must be heard. This is our time. Justice for Breonna.
Okay, guys, so that video kind of pretty much covers what we're going to talk about today. So going back to Breonna Taylor in this particular case, now the thing that really ticked me off about the whole case is here we have again a black woman, she's a woman. She's not, she's black. I mean, she's black. She's a woman. She's in her own home. And we see basically the disregard for human life again. Because, it's not our first time seeing this. So we see the disregard for human life again. This is every day, right? This is like anybody. This could be anybody. All of us, we get up, we go to work, we come home, we pretty much think we're safe. I mean, your home is home. It's where you relax. It's where some of you may have a drink or two. You relax, whatever you do. To be and we all know what it's like to have your sleep disrupted at 12 o'clock in the morning. It's like who's even aware of what's going on, you know? So you come into somebody's house right after 12 o'clock midnight and you expect them to be cognizant and aware of what's going on and who you are, and then you're breaking in the door. All of this is strange behavior, and the police supposedly have the warrant, so you know who lives there, right? um you don't suspect that there is a gang in the home, right? um I just can't see. I can't see the point in all that they did. I just can't see the point in all that they did. And they took the life of a innocent person. This girl is innocent. like I don't know what part about that people are not understanding, but she is innocent. She's in her home living her life. I'm trying to squeeze in the camera. And she is completely innocent. Like, what part of that do we not get? And then for the attorney, Daniel, what's his name? Cameron, to do such a poor job at bringing justice is sad. The thing about it is, when he gave his speech, first I want to say, let me roll back a little bit. People are really talking about how in America there's a lack of protection for black women. And you're going to see that a lot. And as black women, we have to stand up for ourselves. I'm not saying our black men aren't trying to do it, but we're going to have to stand up for ourselves. The laws that were passed in support of Breonna Taylor, we'll have to do all of that in our own cities and in our own states. We'll have to make sure that gets done for us in our own communities as well. And so this guy right here is the Attorney General. His name is Daniel Cameron. Now, Daniel Cameron spoke at the Republican National Convention. Now, I don't know if you know that, but he spoke at the Republican National Convention. He is also, according to, well, I mean, if you watch him speak, he's very, I don't know if this is the right word. He's very stoic. He's very, he's the classic. He's the classic version of when a black person moves into that space where they try to be white and they try to fit in with their white constituents, colleagues, and all of that. And they lose ground of who they actually are. I mean, that's basically what you're looking at. You're looking at a black man who, for whatever reason, found it necessary to announce that he was a black man before giving his speech about the decision regarding the Breonna Taylor case. Now, why did he feel the need to announce that he was a black man? Because he knows none of us is going to look at him in that regard. Because being a black man also means that you have care and concern about your community, especially to the extent that you want them to be treated fairly. I mean, that's you're talking about, that's a bottom line basic. As a black man, you want to make sure that your people are good. Not that we're treated better than anybody else or different or that you would do something special for us, but we do deserve equal and fair treatment. Breonna Taylor did deserve justice. And for him to come back and preface his whole little speech with "I'm a black man," and then to continue that little speech that he gave, because to me it wasn't even a reading of a decision. To me it was a speech. I didn't see any piece of it that was constructed towards Breonna Taylor's justice. I saw a black man giving a speech. I did not see him break down the pieces of the case that made sense. I did not hear him say anything about what he heard from the family or the witnesses for the family or Breonna Taylor. I did not hear him mention anything about the testimony of Kenneth Walker, except for in regards to he did have a weapon, which he does have a concealed carry permit. So I heard a speech from this guy. I did not hear a breakdown of what happened that day that would make him come to the decision, that would make a grand jury come to the decision that none of those officers were guilty. And so I want to paint a picture of who Attorney General Cameron is. Attorney General Daniel Cameron is a bald black man. Now listen, you can be black, you can be educated, and you can be bought. It happens every day. Every day it happens. This man is a bald black man, and we see it a lot. I don't know why people go this route. I don't know why they choose to align with the enemy. I don't know what it is, but there's no excuse for it. He made a comment that he supports Donald Trump. Of course, I have an image of him standing with Donald Trump. He made it clear that he was supporting Donald Trump. Now, anybody with any sense knows that Donald Trump is a racist. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about, is Donald Trump a racist? You might want to ask, how much of a racist is he? But you certainly don't need to ask, is Donald Trump a racist? There is nothing about Donald Trump that would indicate he wasn't a racist. From the tactics he pulled back in the day, as far as renting to black people, from statements that he's made about Mexicans, brown people, black people, from the way he treats and regards people, from the decisions that he makes, Donald Trump is clearly a racist. We don't have to dig for that or look for that. He's misogynistic. He's a predator. This man has cases of sexual assault against him. Well, this is nothing new. He's a pedophile. One of the cases that I read involved a 13-year-old girl from Oklahoma or somewhere. Said she was grossed out. Some lady tricked her into coming to Epstein's mansion and tried to convince her to have sex with Trump. I'm telling you the documents I read, court documents. And she said she was grossed out by it. And the second time she came, she said Trump aggressively raped her. This guy said, I grabbed him by the coochie. He walking in on pageants with naked teens. And then says, they don't say anything to me because I just walk in. Did you know that those were teen pageants? Those weren't even grown women. So, take my voice down. I don't be yelling at you guys. I love you guys. But I'm talking about this attorney general here. So during his speech, I can't call it a breakdown of the Breonna Taylor case. I can't. Because that's not what it was. It was a speech that he was given to say to his it was a speech that he was giving to say to his colleagues and friends and his white shoulder buddies that, hey, look, I'm supporting the same things that you're supporting. Again, there's no excuse for that, because there are people who had jobs and positions in the White House who stepped down because they didn't want to be associated with Donald Trump. They didn't want their children to know they served with Donald Trump. They didn't want them to know that they were affiliated with his administration. People, you can be a Republican, you can be a conservative, you can be whatever you want to be. That doesn't mean you have to align yourself with people who don't have the same beliefs, morals, and structural values that you possess. So that lets me know that Attorney General Daniel Cameron is more like Trump than we imagine. So he's giving this speech. And during this speech, he keeps saying that he has to disregard emotions and feelings and stick to the facts. And I'm wondering that whole time when he was giving that speech, because he referenced Mitch McConnell, who is another blatant racist. He boldly stood before Congress and in the House and said he would not support anything, not a thing, that President Obama tried to achieve. This is Mitch McConnell. He blatantly stood with this guy and said, whatever Obama tries to do, this is what McConnell said, I am going to stand against it. So now you see and understand that Attorney General Cameron is Mitch McConnell's protege. Did you know that? He served as Mitch McConnell's attorney in council. That means a lot, because you're aligned with Mitch McConnell, you're his protege, and you're also in support of Donald Trump. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says Mitch McConnell was like a father to him. Mitch McConnell? The man who tweeted right after Justice Ruth Ginsburg passed away, and her I believe her granddaughter, whoever it was, said she doesn't want anybody to take her place until after the new election. Mitch McConnell couldn't even wait to tweet, her seat will a person will be replaced in her seat as soon as possible. Mitch McConnell, who doesn't care anything about anybody, and just look at that turkey neck. Guys, this is what we are fighting against. We have to understand the full scope of who our enemy is, regardless of what position they hold or what they look like. Not only is he in alignment, but via an interview from what is this, V103, the People Station, I think is what it's called. And you can go there. I'll post the link. So via an interview from 103, the People Station, Cameron said, Dr. Jones says that, let me find that. Dr. Jones says that Attorney General Cameron is another Clarence Thomas, another white shoulder rubber. Try to look through the numbers. What I call a white shoulder politician, serving white supremacy for the greater good. Now, I'm going to post in the chat also I'm gonna post in a chat also that he. Let me see. Hey, people in the chat. Yes, he can be a conservative. That's fine being a conservative. But if you align with the ideas, beliefs, and persons of people who are racist, that is a problem. I'm going to play you a little bit of this recording from VH1, the People Station. I'm also going to post the link so you can go and watch it for yourself. And you can, you know, make it, just listen to it. Let me see if it went through. Periscope got it, YouTube got it, and it looks like Facebook got it. So let me play you a little bit of what he said, and he had him as a student. I'm not gonna play all of it. I'm just gonna play the little parts. So listen up. Get my speaker on here. So Dr. Jones, I'm a fast forward. So to give you a little, Dr. Jones, he is a native of Atlanta, according to VH103, the People Station. He's a native of Atlanta, and is the university's chairman of Pan African Studies Department. He says that Cameron is a former student, and he taught the guy a class. Jones says of Cameron, and clearly he didn't listen. Jones note that Cameron is a self-described protege of Republican Mitch McConnell, the U.S. Senate Majority Leader. Cameron, who at one time served as McConnell's legal counsel, is the first Republican to hold the office of Kentucky Attorney General in 7 decades. He's also the first Black candidate ever elected to the office. When you go back and look, there's also a little another attorney in the Kentucky area made a statement, and one of her statements is that let me see if I have it on here and what her name is. It doesn't look like I have it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe I didn't put it up here in the notes. But if you go back, she calls him. It's on Twitter. It's she called him, but there's like a whole article about it. She said to him, she didn't call him a name, but she did say that he needs to stop eating the coon flakes. That's coon flakes as in a coon, which is a slur for somebody who is sucking up to white people who are operating in a racist manner. It's almost like you're coming against your own people. So, like I said, you're aligning with people who are against your people. Nothing wrong with being a conservative, nothing wrong with being a Republican, and ain't nothing wrong with being none of that. But if you turn against your own people, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's what we're talking about. So you can go and listen to that full interview. But here's his words, not mine, regarding. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A white, Mexican, don't matter. Right. Mm. Woo! Mm. Mm. Wow. So that's from 103. And you can go to I posted the link in chat. It should pop up. You can go there and listen to that full interview with Dr. Jones um, on 103 V103, the People Station. The link is posted, so you can go and watch that for yourself. What is it with this thing though that they think money is equivalent to life? A civil suit is different than a criminal suit. All right. Black people are not looking to get paid at the expense of taking the life of their children. That's not how it goes. Like nobody's at home satisfied. My daughter's dead, but I got $12 million. That's not mentally sound. That's not even. But you do have two different processes that need to be in place, and that is civil and criminal justice. There is a need for lawsuits, there is a need for criminal justice pursuits, and you look to the Attorney General to satisfy that side of the equation. $12 million is not a death settlement, it's a civil settlement. And what do we do from here? I want to make sure that as your conscious coach, that I'm not into, you know, per se celebrity gossip just to be talking. That's not benefiting us. I could be sitting here talking about Meg the Stallion, which actually on the next show I am because I'm very proud of her for having on clothes and representing Coach the way she did. I could be talking about Meg the Stallion, money, yo bag, got shot at in Las Vegas at his birthday party and all that stuff. But we need so much more different kind of information that I'm not even on that side. Like I could be on that side. I could have a YouTube channel. I could do all that stuff. But this is my YouTube channel. This is what I want to do to help us consciously elevate, to become a race of people who is engaged not only in entertainment but in education, both academically and in regards to life and how we live in America and how we grow to become equal. Not just say I'm equal, but to actually understand a system that makes us equal. And so when it comes to Breonna Taylor, another part to this is Daniel, uh, the Attorney General, and thanks for joining my live. This Attorney General, Daniel Cameron, who I believe is in alignment with the enemy. I'm not saying he can't be conservative, Republican. I don't have a problem with that. But when the way you handle this case looks like you disregarded her life, I have to believe you pulling a stunt that you learned from this guy. I have to. Now, let's not forget he's married to this white lady, which being married to a white lady means nothing. You can see Miss Tina Lawson, Beyonce's mom, earlier this year tweeted, instead of charging the killers of Breonna Taylor, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron had an engagement party this weekend. Well, according to websites, his wedding was scheduled for December. Apparently, they got married in August. They couldn't even wait to December. So he got married in August. They're saying that this lady is Mitch McConnell's niece or granddaughter. I don't know if that's his granddaughter or his niece or his baby cousin or whatever the case may be. But if that is true, I still believe that that lends more credibility to the idea of what Dr. Jones says when he says that this guy has lost his black sensibility. I can totally buy into that statement, because if you're married to Mitch McConnell's niece and you're Mitch McConnell's protege and you support Donald Trump, I can't see another narrative. I can't see past that. I mean, I can't. I can't see past what you're giving me. Now, you do know that a little while back, just a little while back, Trump had rallies scheduled. And Trump had his rally scheduled, Trump had his rally scheduled around some events, some racial events. I don't know. How many of you guys remember that? How many of you remember Trump had his rally scheduled around massacres of black people? The Tulsa event was scheduled to take place on the day of the Tulsa massacre, the Black Wall Street massacre. Sorry, my mouth was so dry I had to chew something. Trump had his rally scheduled on the day of the Tulsa massacre. The next rally Trump had scheduled was on the day of the Hammer massacre in Florida, which was a day when was it the hammer or the hatchet? Let me look it up real quick. Was it the Hammer massacre? Let me look it up. Okay, let's see. Or was it a hatchet? Oh, that's a whole nother massacre. There was some type of foul there was some type of foul something happening wherever Trump was having that rally at. I talked about it the last time, one other time. So Trump had his rally scheduled on the days of racist events. This is why I say that Daniel is a bought black man. This man said during the interview that just last Friday that they were still reviewing evidence. Okay, if you were reviewing evidence on Friday, how did the grand jury make a decision on and hand it to you and you be able to read it on Wednesday of the following week? So a grand jury made a decision in 4 days, in 3 days. You know what that sounds like to me? Talking about this guy who is A bought black man? Do you know what that sounds like to me? Do you know what that sounds like the attorney general did? It sounds like he planned and scheduled to have this reading, this decision brought to the public on the same date as the Emmett Till trial. The same date. This happened, Emmett Till was September 23rd, 1955. He announces Breonna Taylor's decision, grand jury decision, on September 23rd, 2020. So when I say that this man is aligned with the enemy and he's a bought black man, this is what I'm talking about. Till was murdered. It says the defense stated that the prosecution's theory of the events the night Till was murdered was improbable and said the jury's forefathers would turn over in their graves if they convicted Bryant and Millam, people who killed him, admitted they killed him. Only three outcomes were possible in Mississippi for capital murder: life imprisonment, the death penalty, and acquittal. On September 23rd, the all-white, all-male jury, both women and blacks, had been banned, acquitted both defendants after 67 minutes deliberation. One juror said if we hadn't stopped to drink pop, it wouldn't have taken that long. What is the chance? Remember, like I said, Trump scheduled his rallies on the days of black historical massacres. We know that. That's a fact. That is a fact. Trump later tried to say he didn't know that those days were coincided with massacres and black slaughter. Basically, he tried to say, "Hey, look, I didn't even know." Come to find out, all of the dates that Trump had, or some of the dates, the ones that we knew of that he had scheduled so far, were all connected to days in history when black people were assassinated, murdered, slaughtered, killed here in America. What is the coincidence that this attorney general announces the decision of the Breonna Taylor case on the same exact day? Look, we don't like racism. We are exhausted and tired trying to fight racism. But one thing you have to know is what racism is and who is behind the racism. So what we're looking at is, it's almost like continued trauma for black people is what you're looking at. And it's intentional. No one, absolutely no one is going to make me believe that this announcement, the day that it was announced, the fact that they weren't going to press any charges, no one is going to make me believe it was not intentional. Viola Davis posted this. A lot of people posted it, but I grabbed it from her Instagram account. Talks about slaves, what it was like. Y'all know I laugh not to cry, right? Okay, as long as you understand that. If any slave resists his master or owner or other person by his or her order correcting such slave and shall happen to be killed in such correction, it shall not be accounted it shall not be accounted felony, but the master, owner, and every such other person or so given correction shall be free and acquit of all punishment. Look, you read that on your own time. This stuff goes way back. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie um, Slavery by Another Name. I don't know if you've ever watched that. I don't know if you know what peonage is. It was basically a system that was created after slavery to basically bring black people back into the penal system or the justice system or the prison system. It basically was a system after slavery that they put in place to continue to have the right to kill, murder, maim, injure, all whatever they want to do to black people, but also to bring them back into a system where black people will work for free, basically. If you ever watched the movie, oh my God, please watch that movie, Slavery by Another Name. Please. PBS had it, you could watch it earlier this year for free, or you had access to it on PBS up until March of this year, April, something like that. I can't remember. I watched it. I had watched it at school. Um, um, had the privilege of watching it at school with some students. And then, I asked the teacher, what is this? And I went home and researched it and I watched it. You need to watch that, because if you don't understand structural racism, if you don't understand what I'm presenting to you today, is if you don't understand how it is a brown skinned person can align themselves with white supremacy. Now we know not all white people are racist. That's common sense. I don't like to tell people, I don't like to repeat stuff that's common sense. But we know not all white people are racist. We know not all cops are bad cops. We know that. But do you also know there is a structural system called racism? This country, the whole backbone of this country is built off of racism. Racism allowed the CEO of Wells Fargo to make the comment that we don't even have any blacks in the pool to choose from for a position. And I'm wondering, not to get off on the CEO comment, but I'm going to teeter over there for a minute. I'm wondering how all the black people at Wells Fargo feel about that comment. Clearly, Wells Fargo has some black employees, I would assume. I want to get into that. But structural racism is such a part of America until I don't think a lot of us are able to divide the lines between the two. And so we've come down to a place where we really have to look at what's going on in America, and we have to make a choice about what we can and will do in this moment. What can be done? We have to look at all of these pieces to this American puzzle that we are very much a part of, and we have to decide what's going to be our next move. Nothing was wrong with Breonna Taylor. She wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had the right friends. She had a job. She had her own place. The young lady was gorgeous, beautiful, obviously educated to some degree, just by the job that she had. She had to go to some school for training. She just was a good person. So we have to take a look now at what do we need to focus on? What do we need to do? How can we heal our nation, and not from the outside in, but from the inside out? I know we got to go to Congress. We got to ask for things. We got to demand things. As a matter of fact, we have to let them know what we expect from them. We have to let them know that we're not going to just sit back and allow our children to be murdered, um, and our husbands and wives, and we have to do all of that. That's the work we have to do, because the United States is not willing to be fair. They're not willing to be equal. They're not willing to just step aside and say, you know what, we have been treating you guys unfairly. We're going to change that. And this is what we can do to change it. Because, guys, that's how simple it is. But we have a major player. That player is called racism. Racism has so many benefits to it, a lot of people don't want to give it up. It's how a lot of people make their money, private prisons. All of this stuff is money making. So when it comes to it, we must direct all our attention, focus, money, and energy into changing laws. That's the bottom line. Malcolm X said the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. That's what he said. He said the most disrespected person in the world is the black woman in America. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. And he also said the most neglected person in America is the black woman. That was by Malcolm X. I do want to say thank you, Malcolm X, for understanding and recognizing our pain, your pain, because you had a black wife, black mother, black sister, black sisters. If you didn't have a sister, you had sisters. Um, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all of these people. But now it's our turn to turn this narrative around and to say that black women are the most respected persons in America. So I say the black woman is the most respected person in America. The most respected person in America is the black woman. The most protected person in America is the black woman. The most elevated person in America is the black woman. Hey, I gotta say that. I gotta say that. And you guys need to hear that. Because we've been going along with the narrative way too long. We just have. We've been going along with this narrative. Not that we wanted to, not that we asked to, not that we even wanted a narrative. But so it is our cup, so to speak, right? This is what we've been given. We didn't ask for it. It's like coming over on the boat. I didn't ask for this. But this is where we are. So let's rehearse our new mantra. How we feel about ourselves. And I'm a tambourine girl. Look, let me show y'all my tambourine. We're going to rehearse our mantra. When I'm in my basement and I'm giving praise to God, I'm setting my mind for my day, I usually have some praise music on. But sometimes I just like to play it. I like the beat. I just like tambourines. A lot of things I like. But I want you to repeat this mantra with me, ladies, with my tambourine. The most respected person in America is the black woman. The most protected person in America is the black woman. The most elevated person in America is the black woman. Speak it into existence. Change laws. Justice! Sorry for yelling at you guys. For Breonna Taylor. We will continue to fight and know and learn our oppressors, even if they're melanated. We got to understand that everybody that look like us ain't for us. This is Kathleen Harrod, and I am your conscious coach. I want to spend some time with you today. I want to check on you. I want to make sure you're okay. I want you to vote. Everybody out here talking about voting. I want you to vote. Register to vote. Get other people to register to vote. Michelle Obama is campaigning for votes. Richard Sherman is out here campaigning for votes. We have to vote. We have to change laws. We have to protect black women. I'll end by saying this, Breonna Taylor, you will never be forgotten. We will never stop saying your name. And that we will continue to fight for justice. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining this live. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, share, repost, and do all of that. I'll see you guys the next time.